Welcome back to Medal of Honor Airborne Redux. This is the new v2.02 update. Just a minor update with some, new features you don't really care about, such as, I don't know, say, N64 gamepad support. This is the NSO N64 gamepad. It's a Bluetooth Nintendo gamepad. Pretty cool thing, I guess. This is my second recording attempt because the first one was a nightmare. Oh boy, playing with the N64 gamepad. I wonder how that could go so terribly wrong. Basically, I'm making this next commentary video just because I didn't. I had some, I believe it or not, I had actually had some points in the last video that I forgot to make. Not a lot, but I'll try to keep it quick. I'm gonna play. Let's see. Varsity did not go well, so Husky. I'm gonna go with Market Garden just because I'm playing on the CRT right now, and this contrast is kind of fucked up. So yeah, let's jump in this level. If the music was on, you'd be hearing that famous Arnhem. Wait a second. Oh yeah, that's right. This is a weird thing about the N64 gamepad. The button bindings by default are just really weird. I don't know. Nintendo's smoking some crack when they come up with these modern gamepads. So beautiful, you don't even realize I'm gonna get shot by the tank as soon as I fucking land. I might as well talk about this. Actually, I'm gonna shut the music off before I talk more. By the way, I actually do like the game better with the music off. Not even just for commentary purposes, but just because, I don't know, I always feel like these war games feel more immersive when you have to go by the music of the ambience of the battlefield. Let me see, do the weapon wheel, do the frag grenade. Yeah, this is such a great spot to land, because you just throw the frag grenades in. Oh, I think that might have been a bad spot, but yeah, you just fuck up their shit. I think I got one more frag grenade. Oh, okay, that's not gonna kill shit. Oh, but I did get one of the objectives, and I didn't even have to do anything. But yeah, like, I'll get to the point. Oh god, that's right, I forgot to mention this. This is from my last recording attempt. So I made some changes to the N64 gamepad layout. I think you probably noticed that by default it had lean only. It didn't actually have walk. Did that for like basically nostalgia's sake. Because if you remember GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, you could lean in those games when you're doing the free aim thing. So yeah, I figured, yeah, you're not able to move on an N64 game. But yeah, I realized that is kind of shitty, so I realized on the NSO gamepad, there's the ZR button. I made that I made that like a mode shift toggle. You toggle between ADS walk and ADS lean. Works pretty good. With like the RAFnet adapter on an original one, it would be the debug shift on R and C up. So yeah, I think everybody will be pleased with that. By everybody I mean me, because who the fuck is gonna want to play this game with an N64 gamepad? But again, I did it for like I did it for the memes, basically. Actually, I might as well switch the sniper rifle. Where did he go? Oh dear. He's actually not the same guy that was shooting me, but whatever. It is kind of tricky because you can't steady your scope on N64. And again, the rationale behind that is you couldn't steady your scope in GoldenEye either, or Perfect Dark. It was really frustrating as fuck. Oh god, is one of the MG42s firing at me? Yeah, it actually is. I'll get to that when I get to the church steeple. Yeah, basically one of the main reasons I want to make this video is to thank all my fans of this mod. I am so shocked how well this mod did, especially compared to when it was first released back in 2020. Like, I got over 30,000 views on that initial trailer, way more than I got on the original video after 5 years' time. Like, think about it, in 5 years' time, it didn't even get as many views as this new one. Over 1,500 likes, which actually makes it my most liked video ever, even more than the Windows Sonic vs. Dolby Atmos and DTS:X video. So that's really impressive. it got over 1,500 downloads on ModDB and 200 on Nexus Mods. I'm really glad I put it on there. I don't ever expect to be as popular, but I remember somebody years ago asked me if they could upload it there, and yeah, I politely declined just because I didn't like the idea of somebody else having creative control over this, even if they did just want to re-upload it. Where is he? Oh, he's behind the rubble. Did I get him? Huh. I think I got him, even though I think there's just an arm shot. Oh, you can see, I'm really impressed by how accurate the N64 stick is. I gotta say, out of all the gamepads I tested with this, I tested the OG Xbox, I tested Classic Controller, GameCube Controller, DualSense, DualShock 1, 2, 3, I don't own a DualShock 4. Yeah, I gotta say, out of all of them, this is my favorite analog stick by far, and a big reason from that is just because it has such a long throw. The N64 gamepad is infamous for its long throw compared to like modern sticks, but it just is, it gives it, and it also has that, you know, it has that limited range. It's a little trivia. It doesn't go up to 0 to 127, it goes to 0 to 85 just because the octagonal restrictor prevents it from going the full range. But I think Steam Input actually does fix that. I did have to go back though, and I had to tweak the what do you call it, it does have like axes where you determine how fast it goes, or what percentage it goes from like lowest to like medium speed to fast speed. I think it is. I went back to GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, and I was able to get it pretty spot on to how those games feel with like the fast aiming and stuff. There was a lot more aim acceleration in this than in other games, but I've already mentioned that back in the other video. I couldn't make it go above the clamp. By the way, this is another little shortcut like I showed you. Unfortunately, the enemies are all gone. I never knew about this till I played this mod. There is actually a fire escape up here. You can take it all the way up here. And yeah, you can just take you right to the objective. You can just skip all that bullshit. Oh, am I not going to be able to clear that shit? Yeah, you could just skip all that bullshit. Run past, run from here to there. Skips all that crap. Crazy. Yeah, I'm really... Going back to, like, the fan response, I am so shocked. I am, it's like... I was saying this in the hour and 40 long minute commentary, but, yeah, I was really depressed working on this mod about halfway through. It felt like it was never going to end. You know, like I said, a lot of trouble. My grandma was like, my 90-year-old grandma was like in and out of the hospital 3 separate times. There's a lot of days I was just sitting at the hospital by her side while she slept. And I couldn't do anything but like stay there. I couldn't leave or anything. I just really shitty. I've been looking, I've been trying to look for a job for a long time. I keep applying for all these jobs. I'm not even getting interviews anymore. I used to even just get interviews. They're not even like calling me back anymore. It's like, ugh, it's so disheartening, but it really sucks. Yeah, it's just, I'm so, yeah, it's like, it really, seeing this overwhelming response, I never imagined this mod would do as well as it did. Just so, and at one point I even went back. I added a pinned comment to the video. I was saying like, don't forget to vote for this video. I'm not vote for this video game on the Dream List page. Vote for Medal of Honor. Oh, I forgot to do this. So yeah, it's like I'm just like, I think it ended up getting like an extra 100 votes after I posted it. I mean, that's not a lot, but whatever. Yeah, I'm so pleased. I had some really good news, with my real life. My grandma's condition getting better and stuff. Grandpa and grandma very sick, very old, very, very old people. But, it's some very good news lately. They're starting to pull through their illnesses and stuff. It does feel great. Oh, crap. Oh boy, this is not going... Wait a second, was he like... Oh crap. That was actually a second guy shooting at me. I was actually going to say, was he shooting at me while running and hitting me every time? Because again, with the game's accuracy problems, that's very likely possible. I'm going to try to aim for this steeple just to show something off. Actually, I already killed the enemies, so it's not going to work. Wait, there he is. Okay, he actually respawned. I'm gonna put the God mode on just in case the tank shoots me, because he can. Before, if you don't kill the tiger soon enough, he can get you. He's a little bashful out there. Oh crap! I killed him. Yeah, okay, one of the main things I wanted to talk about in this mod, I actually increased the engagement distance for the enemies. It used to be 4,500, which I think was about 47 yards. I actually increased it to 5,500, which is also the max value before the sounds actually roll off in-game. This spot right by the window actually was about 5,500 units. For some reason, though, I don't know why, like, the enemies just stopped attacking me from here. I hope I didn't screw something up when I was putting the files together. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to go back and check that after I finish recording this. But yeah, I remember originally recorded like I want to say before and after footage of that with the v1.1 and 2.0. I actually had like a whole video scripted out, all this footage. Spent like, I want to say like 8 to 10 hours just writing that alone. It was basically just the entire changelog in like, narration form. But I realized, just short and sweet. People, again, if it was like an hour-long video with all the changes, I don't think it would have gotten 30,000 views. I know, again, I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, 30,000 views, that's nothing. But it's like, I mean, like, yeah, when you think that way, it's like, yeah, anybody could just make, like, a rage bait commentary, like, ooh, Call of Duty is bad now, Nintendo Switch 2 is bad now, Mario Kart World is broken, they broke Mario Kart World. What was the latest stupid fucking one I saw? Disney Pixar's Elio is an animated abomination. It's Pixar blames us for it's like, who the fuck cares? All these grifters trying to you can always tell the phonies on YouTube too, because it's always like they'll be like 30 seconds in, they'll be like, don't forget to try Surfshark VPN, blah blah blah, Surfshark, and then I don't know, they'll have their stupid animated character crosses their arms, and they'll be like, hey, before you watch the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and it's like, and they always try to justify that with like, if you it's actually been proven by oh, my CRT screen's fucking up right now. I can't see what's going on, but it's like, oh, here it's back. Shitty thing about like CRTs, if you buy even the good brand adapters, they can like black out sometimes at certain refresh rates and resolutions. Let's see if I can snipe him. Oh, that, I swear to God, I'm gonna go back in the footage. It's gonna look like I shot him. This game does have janky hitboxes. I just can't get over, though. It's so accurate. Look at this. Recoilless. That's how, like, accurate... That's actually another point I wanted to make. I went... one of the big updates... actually, the biggest update, even more than the shitty gamepad support for v2.02, was I went back and I fixed the horizontal recoil on all the guns. Even though I said I based them on the... Top Shot dust and footage, they were a little too tight when played back with the gamepad, because I think I was using the mouse and keyboard to judge the horizontal recoil. But you gotta figure with the mouse, when you're pulling it down, your wrist might twist a little, and that might cause some extra horizontal recoil. But like, yeah, with the N64 gamepad, which is again super accurate, like really shockingly accurate. That's the thing about the NSO gamepad, because... Well, actually, I mean the N64 gamepad in general. It actually is super accurate out of the box, but infamously, the stick pivot shaft, it grinds down against like the bowl because they didn't lubricate it. You open up your old Nintendo 64 gamepad from 1996; it's just covered in dust, even if you barely used it. I went back and I looked at all my ranges on them. By the way, just do this real quick. But look at that! I couldn't even control it that good on mouse and keyboard. I still feel like it's a little too tight, but you gotta remember, it's yaw randomization, so it's not gonna always be the same horizontal recoil, but whatever, I might as well go back to the MG Nests objective. Because I do that, and then I could just get on with the thing. I made some various UI changes to v1 2.01 and 2.02. Most notably the credits. I mentioned in one of the videos I could have added the credits after You Guys Rock. I actually completely forgot this. At one point I did add my name to the credits at the very beginning. What turns out happened though was I added it to the... there's like 4 unused lines in the text file for the credits, and I added it to the unused line by mistake. Is that an arm shot? Oh my god, I see the ragdoll in the distance. Shit. Yeah, that's how much more accurate. Again, the enemies to just get to 100% accuracy couldn't fix that. Put it back to walk mode. Yeah, it is very annoying you have to do that, but it's like, I mean, would you rather not play on the N64 gamepad at all? Don't answer that. Motherfucker, I'm down to half health. Again, normal was too easy. Expert is a little harder. But it is, I still consider it like an arcade difficulty. It's a good compromise. You know, STG-44 can kill you in 4 shots. Gotta be very careful around corners. It does remind me of Far Cry 2 Redux. One, it's the crazy ragdolls. I'm actually playing. Holy shit! I'm gonna get killed trying to look at this guy, but god damn, I fucked him up. Good excuse to use the new capture button. We've got Mr. Fantastic. Go watch Fantastic Four now in theaters. Oh fuck! I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. There's like aiming above his shoulder. Yeah. So yeah, I fixed the credits. The credits now play after the You Guys Rock, so that's nice. You know, I don't think anybody will watch that far, but yeah. Actually added a little "Stop Killing Games" hashtag at the end too. Where did he go? Is he there? Did I talk about the hipfire yet? I think I started talking about it in the other take. The hipfire has just seen a massive nerf. Like you'd see, turning it around, huge. Huge. You move and you turn is huge. Jumping? Holy shit. I don't think they can shoot me from here. Maybe they can? I think if I go into the sniper rifle... Yeah, there he is. Now he's shooting at me, like I was saying before. Yeah, he's throwing the grenade. Look, gee, this is like in the vanilla game, he would not be able to shoot me from this far away. So yeah, that's exactly why I wanted to show off earlier. That's cool. That's... It's very odd why it happened like that, but I'm not going to complain. Yeah, again, it makes it a lot more immersive. It does justify the existence of like sniper rifles with adjustable zoom and shit. But yeah, I was really overjoyed by the response from all the fans of this mod. So shocked. I think, again, more people are... Actually, I think this is the point I made in the first video. More people were excited for the... This mod just because it's been 18 years now since it came out. It's almost 2 decades. If I waited till 2027 to release it, I think it probably would have done really well. One comment actually a few comments were like, I wish EA would remaster Medal of Honor, Airborne, and all their other games. I want to see it remastered. And I'm thinking like, dude, you want the same people who made Medal of Honor Above and Beyond to make this again? Just utterly ruin it? God damn. I mean, I don't want to be negative Nancy, but god damn. Would not trust modern EA with Airborne. A game like this could just never get made nowadays. Oh wait, I actually never went back to the hipfire point too. Yeah, the turning accuracy is a lot more than it was. I think in v1.1 it was 1.25. Now I think it's like 2.5. I actually went back and see, here's the thing. I own this Xbox light gun. It's like a realistic Beretta light gun for the Xbox. Yeah, it has like a laser sight at the end of it. So what I did was, yeah, I would point at the screen. I would try to move it slowly, you know, to simulate like going super slow, and then I would try to go super fast to like see how much the laser sight would have variance in aim, and that's what I used for the accuracy model of like turn accuracy. You know, jumping accuracy and, you know, all the other accuracies are made up. I think the Thompson originally had like an accurate crouch min max. It would get super inaccurate if you fired it for too long, even if you're ADS. But I think I did fix that with 2.0. Just one of those minor things I didn't bother mentioning. But, you know, as happy as I was about the response from this mod from fans, I am a little disappointed just because everybody is leaving positive comments and upvotes, but nobody's actually leaving reviews on the actual mod pages. And it's like, I don't want to be a choosing beggar, but, you know, people, that's a little more important. I mean, comments on a video and grade are great and all, like, well, my childhood's back. I plugged in my Xbox 360 when I saw this update. But it's like, I mean, that's fun and all, but it's like, that doesn't actually help the mod's reputation spread, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't help it get recommended on ModDB. I only actually ended up getting 2 reviews after all that. I am going to put them on screen just as like a little shout out to my homies. You know, you guys are the real heroes for reviewing. One of them wasn't even a review. It was just like a rating. And it's like, yeah, you don't have to write a rating if you don't want to. Yeah, it's like on ModDB and Nexus Mods, they go by how many reviews and the positive ratings it does to get to recommend people. So yeah, if you played this mod and enjoy it, please leave a comment. If you didn't enjoy it, please leave a comment. Leave some constructive feedback, like, you know, I thought this could have been, I thought this was going to be a remaster. It was just a bunch of INI tweaks. Fuck this guy. 4 out of 10, like some troll left 5 years ago. It's like, fine, leave that if you want. Just be honest. Just be honest with me, you know? Any feedback helps. But, you know, what doesn't help me are a lot of, like, the unreasonable demands. Like, what I found with a lot of these comments was, like, they seem to think like I'm a genie or something. What ended up happening was I get a lot of comments like, did you fix the PhysX problem? And it's like, what? Did I reverse engineer the game code to not use, like, an old version of PhysX? And, you know, just, you know, something that's clearly been done by a lot of people before? No, I didn't do that. I wonder why you ask. Like, everybody's like, can you put realistic uniforms in? I want to see the actual uniforms they used in World War II. And it's like, buddy, how am I going to do that? How am I going to find, like, the actual uniforms? Like, it look like an old grainy black and white photo? Try to recreate it from perfect detail from those old photos? What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to, like, find, like, Army surplus store that just sells, like, World War II memorabilia or something? And it's like, who the fuck would be selling Nazi uniforms besides, like, I'm not even like finish that train of thought. I'm kind of disturbed by that, actually. Like Cotton Hill with his Hitler's canoe had to sell at a police auction. I mean, I don't have any art skills. I could probably, it's like I could probably show you like what I would draw if I could draw these damn textures. So it's like, I mean, again, I can appreciate wanting authenticity, but it's like, I mean, this is the game with the stormtroopers with the MG42s, people. I tried to fix that, but I couldn't. Actually, talking point I forgot to bring up. One of the things that actually finally got me to put the MG42s back was the M18 recoilless rifle. I never actually knew this, but that weapon is anachronistic. That wasn't ready in time for the end of World War II. So its presence in this game is just unrealistic. It's like when they used to have those early 2000s game with like the Pancord jackhammer. Only one working prototype ever actually existed, but it would be like this mass-produced weapon that like Max Payne would shoot mafia thugs with. I actually might as well bring up this point. I want to have the Wiimote too. I think I bought like the Dolphin Bar. I bought like the Dolphin Bar just because that was what was recommended. A lot of people buy it. Some mutual on Discord actually told me though that it's the kind of a piece of shit. It's $30. It's overpriced. And it really doesn't work any better than like the generic $7 ones from China. The only difference is that it has Bluetooth pairing built in. And it's like, that's it really. It's very easy to pair it with like a driver. I think what was I trying to use? WinU Pro. The problem I had with that, I want to do a video on that. The problem I had with that was it's like there was such bad mouse smoothing that it was basically unusable. Wait, there's a train of thought I never went back to. Far Cry 2 Redux. One of the main inspirations for coming back to this mod was seeing that Far Cry 2 Redux got an update a couple years back. It's called Far Cry 2 Redux Plus Realism now. It got merged with like a realism mod. The big update that fixes that it finally gets rid of like the respawning outposts. Now it takes like a half hour for them in real time to respawn. So that's. But what ended up happening though was it had like a Steam Deck support. It used Steam input. That was my big inspiration for all the gamepads in this, including the meme ones like the Wiimote and the N64 gamepad you're seeing right now. I might as well show this off. The firing rate is much faster on the bolt-action rifles now. That's one of the big problems I always had. It's just way too slow. It ended up being very useless compared to the It just ended up being very useless compared to the I had to make it stronger compared to like the Yeah, so now the default firing rate is about equivalent to the upgraded Springfield in vanilla. It's a little slow. It's 1.35 instead of 1.3. I had to do that because it didn't, unless otherwise it wouldn't divide evenly. The upgraded firing rate is about equivalent to the K98K's upgraded reload time. She wanted to make it a little even faster than that, but what ended up happening was, oh, well, let's see. Oh, this is a weird thing I wanted to talk about. The shotgun. If I had it in front of me, I could show it off, but the problem with the shotgun is that the hipfire is way too inaccurate. You know, of course, it just spreads the pellets out across the spray cone where you could see the whatchamacallit, the crosshairs. Yeah, see, the thing is, that's not realistic. Realistically, it should be the same. It should be the same pattern as if you were doing iron sights, but what would end up happening is it should be getting offset within that crosshair. Now, you know, Insurgency famously does that, and you can use the red dots, not the red dot sight, the laser sight, like I have on my Xbox Beretta, to like aim it, sort of, from hipfire. But believe it or not, there is a game I've actually played where you actually have that realistic, that realistic displacement of shots with a shotgun, and of all games, you would never guess. Sin Gold from 1998, a weird quasi-boomer shooter, sort of like in between a boomer shooter and tactical shooter. I mentioned Ritual Entertainment in the last video. That was their first big game. It was supposed to be like a pre-Half-Life, like a big deal. It was like post-Quake 2, pre-Half-Life. It ended up being like an infamous game, like tons of bugs, and I think the demo disc had a virus. It's just a big shit show, and it sold poorly. You know, funny 6 Degrees of Separation, 2015 Incorporated made the expansion pack for that. It was one of their first projects. 2015 Incorporated, of course, being the people who made Allied Assault, and you know, those people went on to become Jason and Vince ended up going on to form Infinity Ward. So without Sin Gold, we would never have Call of Duty. Thank you, Booby Lady game with John Carmack as a teenage boy edgelord. What a weird-ass game. But yeah, in Sin Gold, when you would run around and shoot the shotgun, it would realistically have the same spread. If you stood still and fired, it would have the shotgun spread be pretty tight, sort of like in Duke Nukem 3D, which that game took a lot from, because some of the same people worked on it, most notably Level Lord. Richard Gray, I think his name was. Last thing I think he worked on was Atomic Heart. The Booby Russian robot game, him in the Booby games. He's got a weird agent, I will tell you. Oh yeah, the enemy's peeking and hiding faster. Of course, you know that the peeking is much faster now. I modeled it off. I used like the multiplayer values, and I based the distance off Wolfenstein. I made the enemies. I think they have lean. No, not lean. It was peek and hide. They had values for that. It used to be set to like just the default 1.0. I actually did change it to 1.33, which is I think the same as the Fallschirmjäger. I completely botched that. Infantry. It's like the good median value. It works pretty good. The enemies are subtle. They're subtly harder to hit, but it's fair because you can peek so much faster. It's yeah. Oh, funny story. I tried to change like the I think there's like a value for changing the multiplier of how much you go up and down when you do that. When I set it to like above 1, what ended up happening was I would actually ghost through the ground, and I would fall through the geometry and just die. So that was funny. That's a funny learning experience. I made it changes to the pool size, which is like the texture streaming pool, and the shadow resolution. Very subtle changes, but you know they'll help a little bit on modern GPUs. You've probably seen this before. When you get shot in this game, probably demonstrate this with a grenade if I have any. Wait, do I still have God mode on? Oh, I don't. I guess the rubble blocked it? I don't know. That's very strange. Okay, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm not going to jinx it. Yeah, the aim punch is a lot more. I want it to be a very, very high aim punch, because this was one of the biggest problems of the vanilla game. You could almost barely tell when you're getting shot. In older versions of the mod, it didn't have the depth of field shot, so you wouldn't even get the bloody screen, and that was one of the complaints I remember getting 5 years ago. So yeah, it's not, again, it's probably not as high as it could be when you compare it to like COD 1 and 2, but whatever. The thing I always have to tell myself about the comments, wait, oh, fuck, you know, the worst fucking comment I got some guy was like, the Italians don't have the correct weapons, but aside from that, this is a good mod. And it's like, is he trolling me or something? And the funny thing is, I think the same exact person left the same comment on like the actual page. It's like, are you fucking trolling me, mister? Who the fuck cares about the Italians? Like I said, the M18 recoilless rifle doesn't even exist in the time period this game takes place. So it's like, I mean, you might as well just make some leeway, because you can't fix it. I try to have like combo buttons, like I think I mentioned this in the first run. I try to have like combo buttons, like I try to have sprint on this, and I try to have like in Perfect Dark, if you pressed Z and A at the same time, it would do previous weapon instead of next weapon. Whatever. I had to get rid of those. I had to move toggle sprint to C up like you've been seeing all this time. Control scheme was actually based on the world is not enough 6th layout. Only difference is like jump was moved from C up to C left, because that makes more sense with like the standard 4 buttons. You know, these 2 buttons are still shifted from where they are on a standard gamepad just because of muscle memory. The toggle shift, the weapon wheel. Oh yeah, the weapon wheel. So yeah, in Perfect Dark was one of the first FPS games to have it. Turok 2. In Perfect Dark, you could actually use the D-pad and the analog stick to use the weapon wheel in that game, and it worked very well. But the problem I found with Steam Input was if you would use the weapon wheel with the D-pad, what ended up happening is like you would get locked in whatever direction you were pressing as you were holding A. You would just keep walking, and even when you let go, it would keep walking. You have to just press the button again. So I don't know. Because of that, I had to just leave it on analog stick. Whatever. Sprint button. Oh yeah, a weird problem I had was like the liquid when I had to this game, you know, the stick is mapped to the left stick because Mario has to move with the left stick, like in GameCube and shit. So it's only logical to put it on there. But like the problem with that was when I tried to map the look controls in the INI file, it ended up making like the aim inverted. So what I had to do is I had to set the speed to -1. I don't know, that's something. Might as well talk about the controller itself. I didn't want to get the NSO gamepad. I wanted to get the RAFnet adapter. What ended up happening was that the RAFnet adapter was sold out on the main website. And you're trying to buy it from like an American reseller. They wanted double the money for it. And it's like, you can go fuck yourself, scalpers, man. Nintendo scalpers, man. So I ended up having I had to go on eBay to buy somebody's used one. Pretty good condition. I remember watching Neryl's video. He was saying like it was basically fundamentally exactly the same except for 2 things. One, it uses like a different analog stick pin connector. Some of the parts are not interchangeable on this, but I think you can edit them to be. I know steel sticks do not work according to somebody, so that stinks. But yeah, 6-pin connector, and what else? Oh wait, yeah, the most obvious thing. Instead, the original had like an optical sensor. It's got the gear wheels that spin, and it blocks the optical sensor. This one just uses like a modern potentiometer, and I'm thinking like, oh, so that means it can fucking drift. And I'm thinking, oh, that sucks. But it's like, you know what? Hey, you know, I might as well try it. Within an hour of testing this thing out, I found I had fucking drift in the Ares emulator. Mario would just keep walking on his own. And it was like the worst fucking bullshit. I don't know, I wonder if that's just because like a software issue. If it like the dead zone is not correctly set. I think the dead zone was supposed to be 0. No, it's supposed to be like 5.36% dead zone according to somebody on the Ares GitHub. But what ended up happening, yeah, no, I tried to download Better Joy, because there's like a fork of that claims to work with this, and like it did fix some issues, but it had problems with like it would make the analog stick sensitivity like way faster, like you would reach max speed less than halfway across the stick, so that was no bueno. And what the fuck else did it do? It had a number of problems. Most notably, I remember like with some games it would cause like the camera or to keep spinning. And that's because I think it was like bugging out with like a non-existent right stick. So it's like, what the fuck's that about? I don't know. People recommended that shit, but it didn't work. So I'm probably gonna end up having to do is I'm probably gonna just return this and you know, just wait for the RAFnet adapter to come back in September. Wait the month for it to come back from Japan. Just have it by the end of like October, the beginning of November. It's like whatever. I actually have a working N64. I got the CRT. I've got the Summer Card 64. I don't give a shit about the emulator except for like upscaled graphics. So yeah, until then, I can just make do. I just want to record this video real quick. That's why it's kind of shitty and like not really well put together. Just gonna. Funny enough, actually, I was talking about the stick detection problems. I was able to get it pretty well. You can see when I go like diagonal up and stuff, it responds well. When I tried like the GameCube gamepad with like the Mayflash adapter, I should have bought the official one. I found out later, but whatever. Yeah, no. We found out it like. No, like it's like it would just like it would go super slow, and it's like I think because it has like the octagonal gates on these old Nintendo gamepads, I think it would just fuck up like the ranges. And I tried, funny enough, the classic controller with Steam input worked, but then like the analog sensitivity on the triggers didn't work. So when I used WWII Pro and I calibrated it correctly, it would just end up having like super low range, even worse than the N64 gamepad. So I don't know what the deal with that shit is. Sadly, I couldn't find a single diagram of the RAFnet button mappings, so I'm gonna have to end up just making a v2.03 anyway. That really sucks. But whatever. There's like one diagram I thought I saw, but I don't know. I don't assume anything. And people are like, I tried my RAFnet adapter. The one guy, actually one of the biggest shocks. This is going back to the fan response thing. I was so shocked so many people were playing this with the gamepad. I guess a lot of people were just really happy to play with this with the gamepad again. Even though I really don't recommend it. Even with the stick sensitivity fix, it doesn't feel that good just because like the aim sensitivity limitations. If you're going to play this with like a Steam controller, play it with a Switch Pro controller, ideally with the drift fixed with the TMR stick, play it with a dual sense of the TMR stick, play it with just anything with gyro. You know, stick sensitivity is fucking bullshit. Gyro really should be the future. I don't know why they're so stubborn to include gyro and shit. Gotta use, and a lot of times they do it. It's like just shitty joystick mapping to the Oh my god, is somebody still alive? Oh god, all this time I was distracted. See if I can get him with the MP40. Yep, I got one. Haha, headshot. Headshot from 50-something yards with the MP40 and the N64 gamepad. You saw it right here, folks. First time in recorded human history. Who gives a fucking shit? Far Cry 2 Redux plus realism. This is the point I never got back to talking about. The big problem with that mod, it is just unfair as fuck. It's so funny because people talk about like how this mod is so hard. It really isn't. It's perfectly fair. Every difficulty is the same except for the HP you get. So it's like, if you can beat it on the easiest difficulty, you can beat it on the normal difficulty, and you can beat it on the hardest difficulty. The only thing that changes is how many shots you can take. But that mod is fucking crazy. Like, the enemies have, like, they can see you through bushes, they can see you through trees. It actually is very similar to, like, the very first Far Cry, if you've ever, like, played that on a modern system. If you played that before GOG patched it, so they can't see the tents. They can still see through a lot of bullshit, though. That game has, like, bullshit psychic AI, and Far Cry 2 Redux plus Realism has that problem. I remember actually playing a lot of Redux. I played about 8 to 10 hours of it. I didn't beat it, because Far Cry 2 is a very long game, but I played, I think, most of the first half of that game, and it was very fun with that mod. So it really breaks my heart that he decided to go on a path that made it a lot less acceptable. Not acceptable. A lot. I mean, let me tell you, I couldn't even get past the fucking tutorial. It was like a stalker misery mod. I had to just keep quick saving, quick loading, and it's funny. I feel the same way about that mod that people probably felt about realistic difficulty with this mod. So it's like, I guess the shoe's on the other foot or something. I guess the drifting NSO gamepad piece of shit fucking is on the other hand now. Funny enough, I actually saw like a clickbait YouTube
All units hearing this transmission. We have reports of it.
Oh dear. whoa, this is editing lava here. This is lava from the future. Yeah, whatever. Sorry about that. What ended up happening was my fucking iPhone 16 ran out of storage space, and I think it was like 89 gigabytes. I think I had like 89 empty free space of gigabytes. I think that's the thing. That's the problem I ran into with the CRT channel. I just ended up happening is like, it's like you think like, oh wow, I have like a filmmaking grade camera now. It's so fucking sweet. But then what ends up happening is that you just run out of space when you're trying to film 4K footage. By the way, how fucking smart was that? We're filming 4K footage, little tiny square that you're only gonna see in the corner of the screen anyway. Probably gonna tone that shit down unless I stupidly decide to have the gamepad be the main view screen, but probably not. Who cares? And I was saying before the editing lava rudely cut in was what happened was I saw this like stupid ass clickbait short video like, this World War II game is very dark, and then they use that corny ass scene where the soldier gets his head run over by the tank. Again, this game with its very corny scenes, not as corny. I'll get that to a later point. I'll probably have to talk about that during the... Unless I die 100 times during the Panzer Shrek part. Wow, friend really helped me with a grenade there. Oh wait, funny, that's actually one of the biggest changes I forgot to mention. The MG42 as an expert used to be able to kill you instantly because there was no invincibility time. So I went ahead, I added like temporary invincibility. Not a lot, just 80. It's really only enough to save you from like either two enemies shooting you at once or the MG42s. But yeah, I mean, I could probably show it off if I stupidly ran out into the open. He's probably gonna shoot. He's probably gonna pixel snipe me. Ain't he? Nope. Yeah, they will kill you very quickly, but like there's 80 milliseconds of invincibility time. Oh wow, that could have been bloody. Well, no, so there's 80 milliseconds of invincibility time, which means you only get hit by, I think, every third. You'll get hit by every third MG42 shot once it reaches 100% accuracy. I also had to go back and I had to change the base converge times, because what ended up happening was, with the short bursts on the MG42, it would end up not hitting you a single time. Okay, why am I getting... I'm playing at 60, goddammit. Why am I still getting these cursed ragdolls? Fantastic Four in theaters now. Gonna date this video horribly. Release the Epstein files. Oh, I'm gonna lose some fans from that one. You know, actually, funny. That's a funny point to make. I see like a lot of like neo-Nazis on these like World War II game videos, and there's like, can you play as the Germans? Can you play as the Nazis in this game? I want to play as the Nazis. I think it would be so brave if they made a campaign where you play as the brave Germans. It's like, shut the fuck up, god damn. Yeah, it's like they just kept like doing all this bullshit, and it's like, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Medal of Honor was made by a Jew, a little Jew you may have heard of called Steven Spielberg. Like, seriously, Steven Spielberg worked on the first 3 titles in this series. Without Steven Spielberg, Medal of Honor wouldn't exist. So it's like, you're picking the wrong game franchise to try to corrupt with your bullshit. The point I wanted to... Actually, there's a point I want to make later. Still can't remember where the fuck I was at with my commentary. Oh yeah, some of the realistic difficulty run, pretty went well. I was talking about how like people complain about like the difficulty being too hard. It's like, would you complain about COD 2 on Veteran being too hard? So, not really a lot of interesting things though. Most interesting things were like the bullshit deaths, which I'll probably just put a little reel of.
me, Travers! You gotta move, Travers, come on!
And it was like the weird moments I remember was in mission 2. Once I was trying to do like that cave objective where you got to blow up and run out of the cave. I died on that trying to get in. That was around the time I decided to make the. That's when I realized the G43 enemies were firing too fast. I died there, but when I respawned, none of the enemies respawned. It was like very eerie. I was just slowly trying to approach that objective. I'm wondering where the enemies are. I'm thinking, are they going to just pop out and kill me when I'm not least expecting it? I don't know, it's just a weird glitch. Funny enough, when I played the game on Xenia emulator, the same thing was happening to me in the first level, but I'm just going to assume that's like an emulator glitch because I don't know. I don't think that... it probably didn't work like that on the real hardware. I gotta say though, my favorite memory from that entire run was in Mission 5 with the railgun blowing up. There was a part where I was like left... that factory is very tense. I was dying a lot. By that point, I was like an hour and 15 minutes into that run. I told you it took 2 hours and 16 minutes just to beat that one goddamn level. So hard. That was probably the level that made me... I remember somebody was like, "He's trying to change it with INI tweaks when it wasn't designed to be that way." That was definitely the level I've always wondered, like... was trying to make this like a realistic difficulty mistake, but I don't know. I just think that's just a badly designed level, because even expert on like the vanilla game is just bullshit on that level. Especially with how fast the enemy reaction times are. No, but there was a point where I was like just slowly trying to approach the objective. I was looking up at the rafters. I found out they could shoot you from up in the rafters. Like the MG42 guys would spawn in and try to shoot you. We eventually got to a point, is there eerie silence. I'm ready to go for the objective, blow up the railgun, but I'm like, I swear to God, there's one guy left. And I'm freaking out. I'm paranoid. I'm thinking, like, this guy could just pop out. He could shoot me. I mean, the AI seems smart enough to do that. So what I ended up having to do was I had to like sneak around the back way, because there actually is a back way. It's like an ambush route. Sneak around the back way. What I found, to my horror, there was one enemy left. So I, without him even realizing I was there, I shot him in the back, killed him, and that was it. The area was clear. And like, I remember in like the 5 years later commentary, I was shitting on this game for having like levels like, oh, it's just like COD. You know, you pop out of cover and shoot enemies. I had to take that statement back. That was like the point in the game where I realized this isn't like a COD clone. I really genuinely think this game is a masterpiece. You know, probably people already wonder, why would you come back to this flawed game all these years later just to make this, waste hundreds of hours making this improvement patch? And it's like, I genuinely think this game is a masterpiece. There's really nothing else like it on the market. And that moment in the factory, sniping that one guy, it made me realize why. This wasn't some like cover shooter bullshit. This wasn't COD regenerating health, pop out of cover, shoot enemies. It was like I was playing like Counter-Strike with bots in that moment. And that's when I realized this game, it really was just underappreciated. It was unloved in its time. Funny enough, I actually went back to the Metacritic scores. They were higher than I thought. They were mostly 7s, but they were high 7s, like 79s. I guess fans reacted worse than the actual critics did at the time, so I don't know. This is the thing I wanted to mention. One of the biggest reasons I am against like the Steam version being taken down, there's some of those broken effects with DG Voodoo too. I'm gonna want.
Attention all airborne units. Instructions are to eliminate all enemies on the bridge.
Be very careful.
Caution when engaging Panzerschreck teams.
Oh, my friend! Right, I was about to shoot him. My friend blocked me. And that would have been a headshot too, so thanks, dude. He sees me. Actually, you know what? This is a good spot to try to show off the aim assist. Is it working? Okay, that might not be 9,000 units, but if I could find somebody closer. Because this is the exact spot I was talking about in the last video. Oh, there we go. Look how far that is. And in the vanilla game, it would be like less than half that distance. Oh, I think my friend actually got him. Somebody in the last video one of the viewers was saying, can your friends hurt enemies? And it's like, I guess they can sometimes, but not always. Oh wait, that could have been bloody. Oh wait, that's my friend. Talking to, like, at this parasocial ass relationship going on with these like soulless NPCs. Steady scope would be really handy right about now. Fuck. Oh god, I got him. Good. I'm gonna get killed by the grenade though. It doesn't look like the aim punch actually happens when you, Wait, is my friend shooting back at me? What the hell? Oh, he's shooting at this guy. Wait. Get him if I aim fast enough. I missed my opportunity just because of the shitty gamepad. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Where'd he go? I see this Sturmgewehr sticking out. I guess I'm gonna have to push forwards now. Get some health while I'm at it. Oh, yeah, this is a funny story I wanted to say. At one point in development, I had the Panzerschreck up to 600, which is what the M18 recoilless rifle does in vanilla. Yeah, at one point I had it at 600, and I had the tank up to 1,000 without even needing to play test it. I was like, my god, what have I done? And I changed it back to the vanilla values just because I realized, like, with it, what was it, like a 10 meter blast radius? That means you'd only have to be within 1 meter of the tank explosion to die instantly from it on realistic difficulty. And it's like, I mean, that is realistic, but it's like, I mean, yeah, again, it's like I gotta have mercy somehow. Oh, what the hell is he doing? Sometimes when they are distant and they don't know how to react, they'll just, like, wave to guys that don't even exist. Uh-oh. Oh, no, this is... Like I said, I remember, like, in the vanilla game, this was one of the worst parts. I remember, like, cursing and screaming, in fact. It was just so hard. I think I did have the sniper rifle, but it's like... like, in the vanilla game, they have, like, damage resistance. I think they have, like, 130 HP. The Gewehr 43 only does 70 damage. You gotta, like, two-shot them to the chest. Oh. Yeah, the air reacts weird in this part. They just run past you, and they, like... Where the fuck is he going? Where the fuck is he going? I guess he's gonna shoot me in the back. All that time I could have been distracted from behind. Wait! No, he's still shooting at me. There's 1/4 of my health gone. Wait. Oh, I didn't mean to pick that up. Can I snipe? I'm gonna try to snipe from this far away. Because I think this is beyond the range they can hit me. Wait a second. Oh, no. Oh, no, never mind. What do you think is the, Is that going to hit me? Oh, shit. Yeah, 9,000 units. Oh. Oh, my God. Is that as far as it goes? Yeah, it's as far as it goes. Wow. I'm getting all the cursed hitboxes tonight. Oh, got him. Again, imagine this. You're playing GoldenEye. Your crosshair's just going all over the goddamn place. You can't hit shit. I think I was trying to mention this in the last... Oh my god, what did happen? You probably saw that for 1 second. His head fucked up. This bridge, I always notice, like, the worst... Okay, this is, like... This is some, like... SCP shit tonight. This bridge always seems to be the most cursed area. Probably just because it breaks a lot of the rules of the game. MG42 is already spawned in. I think I'm just far enough that he can't shoot me, though. Yeah, he's doing the weird wave thing. It's like that's their default reaction. I guess that's just to make it look like the guy's doing something from a distance. You probably got to figure on like a sub 720p resolution on an Xbox 360, that would just look like random pixels moving. Now, this spot is very unfair, but thankfully there is a cheese spot. It's like a spot they didn't think of. Wait. Still thankfully have 6 gammon grenades from that part. Yeah, there we go. You just cheese it from right there. I'm sure that's a pretty well-known spot. Anyway, yeah, I'm just gonna start shooting the shit now. So yeah, this is a weird point I want to make. I own the retail copy of this game, but what ended up happening was I couldn't actually play it. Turns out my DVD drive died, and it's like I wasn't gonna spend like $50 for a new drive just to play this game again. So what I had to do was I had to pirate my own game that I own. I had to find some download of it somewhere. I'm not going to say where because I don't want to get into trouble. I find some download of it and I had to use my own CD key to unlock it. Just because, yeah, again, my DVD drive died. So that really fucking sucks. I was talking about the credits earlier. Stop Killing Games. I meant to talk about this. Oh yeah, I died so many times. You can see that. 3 stars. So here's the little surprise. You can actually, back in 2023, EA killed the multiplayer for this game. This is one of the exclusive levels. This is Herkalion, Greece. Yeah, there's actually a level set in Greece. It's easily the most impressive of all the custom maps they added. There's the fall damage kicking my ass. I'm going to switch to the pistol just to make it a little faster to browse these streets. Absolutely gorgeous part. This part right here kind of looks like the beginning of, what was it called? D.E. Wait, no, I think that's the castle level. I'm thinking of, was it just called, I think it was just CS Italy. This is the beginning fork. It is absolutely gorgeous level design. Ritual Entertainment, some other person, Demiurge Studios, they did have some support studios. I couldn't figure out if like these were made for the multiplayer or if these might have been based on assets from scrapped levels. There is some concept art that's available in like Moby Games. It only shows like the 6 main levels, but I mean, let's face it, an FPS game with only 6 levels in 2007? What the fuck? Like, that is just ridiculous. You can beat this game in like 3 hours. I think on my realistic run it took me like 7 hours, but yeah, like normally it would take like 3 hours just because it's so goddamn short. I mean, it's a game with a lot of replay value. I gotta admit, I'm so addicted to replaying it, I actually have to force myself to stop. But yeah, actually, that's what I'm gonna point. Well, before I get to that point, yeah. So yeah, I'm so upset. Like again, you got Ross Games Dungeon and his stop killing games movement. I had like a little Easter egg in the multiplayer maps. Maybe I could show this off. I'm just gonna keep there it is. Thank you for killing this game's multiplayer, EA. That's my actually, like I said, I did add another stop killing games to the end of the credits, but yeah, that's my little Easter egg. I was gonna mention this in the very first commentary video, but whatever, you get to see it now. God, look how good this level looks. I cannot get over how good this level is. People were saying this game has aged better than they thought, and I don't know, at first I didn't think so, but okay, well, that's the messed up DG Voodoo 2 right there, but I actually did go like back and like reinstall COD 4. And COD World at War actually looked pretty decent, but COD 4? That game actually has aged pretty badly in terms of visuals. I think World at War actually does look slightly better in some spots. There's a lot of parts that look very barren, like where the hell is the post-processing? Like where's the lighting? There's like a lot of spots in COD 4, especially like the multiplayer maps, that just look kind of barren. It is surprising. Like this, I mean, look how good these walls look. I wouldn't say it's quite like Halo 3. Actually, the funny thing is on the CRT, this just looks like a Counter-Strike source map, but whatever. See, I don't know if these assets were actually made for the multiplayer by the support studios. I'm guessing they were. I mentioned Tom Mustaine in the last video. I think I looked at, what's his name, Russell Meekham. He's actually one of the level designers on No Rest for the Living, that Nerve software expansion for Doom 2. So I didn't even notice that. I noticed that in the when I was going back and editing. Yeah, this game really does have some really nice graphics. Okay, this is one of the biggest problems I've noticed with DG Voodoo. A lot of the spotlight effects are just getting really fucked up. Like, if you go into, like, I might as well just show this off. I think Huss? What a pointless bring up the scoreboard during a match to see how you're doing. What a shitty tooltip. Yeah, showing off this is the funny enough, way back 5 years ago when I was doing that pre-release commentary, I was saying like these levels were basically multiplayer maps converted to single player maps. A lot of games were infamous like that. I think like Duke Nukem's Theater is one of the most infamous examples of like a deathmatch map. And of course D4M9 from the shitty ass Thy Flesh Consumed episode for Ultimate Doom. Notice this entire town hall, the most interesting fucking part, would make a perfect multiplayer map completely blocked off. This is like, you can see there's just a wall here for no reason. There's a ladder added. Funny enough, you can't actually go up the ladders. They have different physics from like single player and multiplayer. You actually have to press U's to go up them, but it doesn't work. That prompt doesn't pop up in single player because it's, look at this. There's like a door and then there's another door. Like, what the shit is this? They did such a hack job of like closing off these levels. It's so bizarre. But yeah, you can see right there, there's another spotlight. For some, like, I know I like having the UI scaling, especially like 4K resolutions, but it really does suck that I can't, it's not a perfect fix. It's like, you know, you get the UI scaling, but you get broken spotlight effects. I'm going to go into ghost mode. Yeah, look at that. Oh, I think it's actually worse in multiplayer. Look at that. That is very unfortunate. I don't know if it's because I'm using anti-aliasing or what, but whatever. There's not really much else to show off in this level. I think that's there. All the side areas are gated off. Yeah, I was saying like this, like these levels are basically multiplayer maps. But no, it is funny. Like the single player versions of these maps are really cut down. Actually, before I get back to Herkalion, I might as well show off. Let's talk about Market Garden. What is it called? Mar? No, that's not it. MG. 50% less damage when in cover. This is where the fire escape is. Funny enough, still there in multiplayer, so that's cool. Get ready to get your mind blown. Get ready for some Mandela effect bullshit. Look at that! The fucking buildings are actually standing. What the fuck? I actually do like this level a lot more with the buildings standing, just because it feels a lot more urban, just like that first map. Gotta go up with the God mode. Yeah, there's actually a whole... Look at this shit. Like, I mean, I guess it's not as interesting. You can't have, like, enemies hiding and shooting from here. How the hell are you supposed to get up here? Wait, this way? Yeah, here. I guess this is, like, the counter sniper. You snipe up here. Actually, looking up, like, footage... Like, there's like, a clan for this. There's actually a clan for this game, still active as of this day, called War Lions. Oh, there's the fall damage. I'm gonna put on God mode just in case. War Lions actually like had their own client for this game. They're one of the people responsible for bringing back the multiplayer, so good on them. But it's like I feel bad because like their most viewed video has like 53 views. That's how there's actually like Medal of Honor Airborne in multiplayer in 2024 videos that have like I want to say 100 times the views of their most viewed video. It's very sad. They don't actually get credit, but whatever. I don't know. Maybe they're like canceled or something. I don't know. Gotta love how on their video they have like fucking like AI generated artwork of like a soldier next to a lion. I mean, I don't want to criticize people for AI slop, but goddamn, it is very noticeable. Some artist is probably crying. He's probably crying like, I spent so many hours. I drink lava. I spent so many hours. I spent so many hours writing that prompt into ChatGPT. Nah. I kid. Yeah, this is the back road. I believe this is on the briefing screen. This is so surreal. It is some what was the other one they called it besides Mandela Effect? The Berenstein Bears. It's not Berenstein or Berenstain. It's Bloodstain. And then he drinks the Soylent. Actually, that's enough of this shit. Oh, by the way, you get this weird screen. For some reason, there's like this fake Nazi thing. I guess even in like multiplayer, there's no swastikas. Very bizarre, because I'm pretty sure there are swastikas in like COD 2 multiplayer and World at War multiplayer, but I don't know. I probably could have tried to make new flags for these screens, but it's like, who gives a fuck, really? Thank you for killing this game's multiplayer, EA. So yeah, finally get back to this point. Yeah, I'm so addicted to this game, I had to stop playing it. I was talking about I'm playing like, not Brothers in Arms, I already played the Brothers in Arms games. I play all these World War II games I want to go back to, like Hidden and Dangerous and Deadly Dozen Pacific Theater, Wolfenstein 2009. I want to play those games. But before all that, I want to go back and I want to play like Medal of Honor. I actually went back and I played the first one on PS1. And I gotta say, I was blown away by how much better that game was than I remembered. I remember trying to play it on emulator, I want to say like 5 or 6 years ago. And I think I got as far as like the sewer level before I was like, okay, I've had enough of this bullshit. But I was so surprised. It holds up a lot better than I thought it would. I mean, compared to GoldenEye, it is absolutely primitive. And even for the time, I think it was criticized for being repetitive. But thankfully, the sequel, Underground, didn't beat that as this recording. But I am in the middle of playing it. I think I'm on like the North Africa part. I think I just beat that part. Yeah, no, it's just a very good game. Like I said, the hit animations are way better. Funny if they're actually better than Allied Assault. In fact, Allied Assault, it really makes me respect that game a lot less, and 2015 incorporated a lot less, having played having played that game, I just take one last fly through out of this level before I quit out of it. It's like playing spectator. Like, God, it's so gorgeous. 2007 game, people. And I'm sure there's people like, actually, I can see the lack of bump mapping. Where's the MXAO? Where's any of that shit? Oh, this rendering? This rendering? Like, no. I don't know. It's like beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Oh, this is some out of bounds shit. It's actually a very complicated layout. Get lost in it. What was it? Whatever. TH? Yeah, the hunt. TH for the hunt. Other than that, there's the hunt and there's the hunt classic. I'm not sure you can have the classic version of a map that I mean, I don't know, maybe it's based on like an Allied assault map or something, and classic is truer to the original layout. I don't know. There's another good-looking town level, again, exclusive to the multiplayer. So yeah, I was playing PS1. It's really good. There's a really funny part in like one of the mountain levels where you walk up to like you walk through like a random not a cave, I guess like a corridor, and then you see just like a random alcove with 3 Nazis looking at a snowman, like a Nazi snowman they made. Unfortunately, they didn't give like a little like pebble mustache on it under the carrot, but whatever. I mean, maybe that would have been too campy, but yeah. And yeah, I was playing that game, and it's got such good writing. It's got Manon Batiste. She's only in it in like the cutscenes and like the text in between levels, but she's got a lot of personality. She's got a lot of character. There's a really cute part where she's talking about somebody like my boyfriend, and then she's got to cross it out like my former acquaintance. There's a lot of personality. You got like the narrator guy, the head of the OSS, and he tells you he's got a vested stake in saving like the Nazis, saving the artwork from the Nazis that they're gonna blow up. You could tell Steven Spielberg made that game because there's an entire mission dedicated to saving the stolen artwork. The filmmakers love their art and all. Medal of Honor, I'm playing this game. I love it so much. It is a very primitive game. I'm playing the second game with the mouse injector. Funny enough, like you think that would make it play de facto better, but it actually has its own problems. Those games seem to have a problem where if you're hip firing, the aim will just get like, what do you call it? It gets like off center from the crosshair. So you could be shooting at a guy's head where the crosshair is pointing, but it'll aim way up and to the left of where it's actually going. So that is unfortunate. It almost is better to play with the DualShock. I was playing with the DualShock 3 with the vibration on. Just point and shoot at the guys. God, I can't get over how good these multiplayer maps look. I'm sure for a lot of people watching, this is like the first time they're ever seeing it. Because again, who the fuck played this game's multiplayer? Nobody played it. It was dead on arrival. And I was playing Medal of Honor. What I was realizing is like, you could never make Medal of Honor nowadays. You could never make Medal of Honor Underground nowadays. Because the era that these games came from, and like the era that these games were portraying, they just don't exist nowadays. Games just don't have passion put into them. Everything nowadays is just very cynical. It's put together very... Oh, I was actually getting some frame rate drops, probably from like DG Voodoo. Games are just very cynical nowadays. I think back to like Call of Duty. There's a lot of controversy with Call of Duty lately that you got like the Beavis and Butthead skins, you got like the American Dad skin and the Roger skin, and it's like really, who the fuck thought like Stan Smith was a good character to put in your like American military good Russians bad simulator, your fucking army recruitment propaganda game? Have the character who in his very first episode calls his daughter a hippie, a communist, and a terrorist, and then proceeds to shoot the toaster 20 times, and then Haley, voiced by Rachel McFarlane, says, "It's just toast, Dad." You got all these cynical bullshits like Call of Duty Vanguard. I was making for this game for like bullshit Marvel dialogue, but that game literally is like Marvel dialogue, the game. It is like, I watched some of those cutscenes. It's like the most bullshit thing. You got these women. You got these women like Lady from Adi Shankar's new shitty Devil May Cry cartoon. They have these women, and she says like, it's like, "I punched Nazis. Deal with it."
I shoot Nazis. They die. That's my plan.
And it's like, it's so cringeworthy. It's like they try to make these female characters that just act so tough and badass.
Bang, bang.
That they just end up being laughable. There's like that Kroby Cat video. They have, oh god, I can't remember the name of the sniper lady from Overwatch. Zara? I don't know the fuck her name. We have Zara at home, and she's saying into her like scope. She's radio. She's like Delta 9 or 119er. I've got them in my sights.
Watcher 1 to Bravo, I'm in position. Half a click off the coast, structures are visible. What's your status?
And it's like she's just flatly saying it. Just clearly some Hollywood actress, probably past her prime, middle age with this sniper scope. It's like probably having a likeness scan. And it's like, ugh. This is so cringy. It's like when you're less credible than like the mother from The Incredibles who all the gooners masturbate to on Rule 34. When you're less credible than her on like the airplane, that's really fucking sad. Like it's just so ridiculous. Like, but you get all these women. She's like, I punched Nazis, thank you.
Time's up.
It's like so cringeworthy. It's like they're trying to be so tough, but all I think of is like the little robot from Futurama that's like, "Don't make me hurt you." It's like that's what I see this. I think of. It's like they're not tough at all. It's like they want these women to be so badass and they fight Nazis, and it's like, honey, you couldn't even beat up the tomboy Wojak, let alone fucking 6'6" Hans Gross and his power armor, all his fucking 6'3" psychopath buddies. Like this is gonna get this video demonetized. Not that I get paid for these fucking videos, but it's like if Miss I Punch Nazis ever went up against like Hans Gross and his 6'3" Nazi buddies, it would go worse than like Death Wish. And then you think back to Manon Batiste, one of the very first female protagonists in an FPS game back in the year 2000, and it's like, even though, again, she doesn't really say anything in her game, she just makes like the Roblox oof every time she gets shot. Tommy Tallarico, take note. Yeah, but Manon Batiste, nobody, it's again, one of the very first female protagonists, nobody, and I mean nobody, ever complained about her. Nobody ever said like, ooh, Medal of Honor Underground's woke. Ooh, this is politically correct. This is critical race theory. This is, Yeah, but like nobody ever complained about Manon Batiste. She was well written. She was a strong female protagonist, and she felt credible. That's the thing. The difference between I Punched Nazis lady and Manon Batiste is that she feels authentic. You can look up stories of like real women in the resistance. There was like a famous Hollywood actress. She was like a ballerina on troupe in like Nazi Germany, and she would like seduce like German officers. And then she would like give their coordinates to like the allies, and then they would just fucking show up and blow his fucking brains out. And this is not like this bloodless carnage bullshit like they have in this game. They would be straight up Sam Peckinpah, Tarantino. He pulls out the sawed-off shotgun. He blows off his testicle. He's like, "Mein Gott in Himmel." He blows off his little pinky toe. Why am I making this so fucking violent? I completely lost my train of thought. This is torturing this hypothetical Nazi. Yeah, but no, that famous Hollywood actress who I'm totally going to put up on the screen, but I sadly cannot remember for the life of me. She totally helped out. And it's like, yeah, Manon Batiste, there's a level where she has to like go into like a photographer's like room while she's showering. Then she opens up the shower curtain and she has this hot, steamy, lesbian sex scene. No, you have to press the action key to push the door to block her from getting out of the shower. Then you take her disguise and you got the camera. You got to start. Like in the first game, you got to show them your like passport. You got to show them your like pass. In this game, you got to like take pictures of them to let them know you're in disguise. I mean, yeah, maybe it's a little ridiculous. She's running around at like 60 miles per hour and like shooting Panzerfaust at tanks and then blowing them up with petrol bombs. I mean, maybe that's a little ridiculous. She blows up like 4 tanks in one level. Somebody was trying to say like the older games are arcadey. Even in spite of like blowing up 4 tanks in one level, I still would say they're not exactly arcadey. Even with the fast movement speed, because again, you got this slowly stop, shoot, run, slowly stop, shoot, run. I don't know. I mean, Allied Assault is definitely not arcade. Have you fucking played that game? That game is clunky and slow. Which one of the points I forgot to bring up. I did slow down the movement speed by not a lot, just 2.5%. I did try 5%, but that just did not feel right. Yeah, all the weapons are a little slower now. So the pistol in vanilla, it's 100% speed. In 1.0, it was 90% speed. Now it's 87.5% speed. It feels about right. I was going back to World at War. The movement speed was pretty fast, but when I played Modern Warfare 2019, yeah, no, it was actually, I think, actually slower than this. But I didn't want to make it feel any slower. Sprinting is still reasonably fast. I think it's like 5 units slower than vanilla, but whatever. Again, the movement speed, you know, you gotta figure, because like your weapons, you got 3 weapons, you got all that ammo, you gotta feel weighty, you know. Just Medal of Honor should never be made anymore. One of the biggest mistakes they ever made was after this game, they tried to catch on to the modern warfare trend. They wanted to make like ooh, modern warfare, war has changed. They got to shoot with the M16 with the ugly ass Picatinny rail, or however you pronounce that. It looks like a fucking Lego block from hell. You have the stupid ass ACOG scope, even though you're only fighting enemies like within 20 meters at the most. You gotta like return to the combat zone, And I think what was the gimmick was supposed to be was like based on real tier 1 operators. And I guess that's cool. But it's like the thing. It's just beyond like the aesthetics and the regenerating health and the cover shooting and the no recoil and the lack of freedom and the I don't even know what else to fucking bitch about. No, there's just something about modern era. Medal of Honor. I'm playing Medal of Honor 1 on PS1. Is like you're Jimmy Patterson. You're the guy. Oh my god, I cannot do that guy's voice. You're Jimmy Patterson. You were 1 semester away from getting your aeronautical degree, and you were the top marksman. You know, he has like 97% on the shotgun. Of course, he's a shotgun main because he's badass. He's got like 94 on the M1 carbine. And he's like, you're truly, and even funny thing, even before the events of the game, before he gets recruited by the OSS, he's like, you killed 20 Germans and sacrificed, and I forgot, I don't remember, he jumped on the grenade or whatever. I mean, obviously he didn't, because he'd be dead. What the fuck am I saying? And that's just something that doesn't exist in Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare is like Richard Marcinko. He's recounting these stories about like dudes in Vietnam setting children on fire. And again, I could say all they want because like, what is his stake and assume me for saying this? It's all in his memoirs. There's actually like an hour-long video essay talking about this. And like he's talking about like forever wars and stuff, and he wants to go and fight the forever wars. And Richard Marcinko saying in the game, saying "commie cock breath motherfucker." He blows off the North Korean's testicles and his pinky toe, and he tortures him, and he feeds him to the German shepherds in North Korea, and he makes his children watch, and he grinds him up into chili and feeds him to his children. But God, he's really gonna sue me for things. This is the game. Richard Marcinko, I'm talking about. No, like Modern Warfare is just not the same. You don't get the best and brightest. Altruism is dead in Modern Warfare. Nobody joins Modern Warfare for God and country. They join Modern Warfare to shoot. Well, I'm not gonna say it, but you know what I mean. People enjoying Modern Warfare, they join these wars, they're not fighting to defend their country from the Great Menace, they're fighting to fight these weird third world countries and these weirdo dictators that the US and the UK often instate themselves. This isn't even conspiracy bullshit, like, it's actual facts, declassified by the government and everything. You're going in these puppet dictators, we're killing these puppet dictators in all these countries, and we don't know why we're even over there, and we're fighting there for all these decades, and we don't know why they're there, and it's like, who are we fighting for? We're fighting for like the Jeffrey Epstein elites that snort cocaine and eat human flesh at like the Yakuza run restaurants in Japan. It's like, who are we really fighting for anymore? And they're saying, we got to protect our country's interests. And it's like, who is the country? Is the country like Joe American and is Joe the plumber and Mama and Apple Pie? Or is it like Bobby Kotick? We got to defend the interests of like CEO schmuck of whatever company who bribes the U.S. government to look the other way, and he has like the whistleblower. He has the whistleblower shot. He has his testicles blown off with a double-barreled shotgun. The controller. What the fuck was her name? The controller comes out and shoots Harrison Bergeron in the back of the head with the double-barreled shotgun and says this program is now over. No, but like Modern Warfare is just not compatible with modern Medal of Honor standards. There's probably more original levels I want to show off, but this was just a really interesting one I wanted to show off real quick. Go into frickin' ghost mode to do this. By the way, you'll notice that like the entire level is actually loaded. It only just shows like the it's like when you think about it, it's like that's kind of a lot of wasted space, don't you think, developers? probably bad performance. Somebody in the comments actually said like the PS3 version is unplayable, and considering how bad PS3 ports were, I believe it. Yeah, okay, this is the weird fucking thing in this level. This spot that's normally like a destroyed thing, it has an entire house. But the thing is, it's not a new house. This is actually the same exact house. Let me go into no clip mode just to show this off. This is the exact same goddamn house. Okay, actually they did black it out so you can't see it. But you can see, yeah, there's the destroyed building and shit with the little ramp. There's the destroyed building and shit. I guess this doesn't have a ramp. But yeah, it's literally a copy. They copied and pasted the building because they liked it so much in single player. I guess that makes sense. But it's like, why not just put that in the layout? It's so confusing. Why block all this off? I mean, maybe they thought, okay, maybe this building will get in the way. But it's like, then why not just get rid of this building in multiplayer? It's so goddamn confusing. This level is gigantic, but you only get to play the radar dish. That's such a bizarre waste of space. I don't know. I'm just gonna. Anyway, the last point I wanted to... What the fuck is this? Oh my god, okay, I actually didn't see this the last time I went to this level. I guess they added like another tunnel to get through to the thing. I guess this level is more original than they give it credit for. I guess there'd be an MG42 to fuck over players who try to come in here for an objective. God, again, going through these multiplayer maps is so weird. Gee, if only we could play these somehow. If only this game was still alive. Actually, a funny point to make there. I was under the assumption that you could not buy this game anymore. I would have all these things and the little SNES trunk thing. Play it any way you can. Which is like my plausible deniability. Like it's like officer or your honor. What I mean by that is I mean play it any way you can by going on eBay and buying a retail copy, probably for like $100. I paid like fucking I want to say $5 for it originally with shipping, but. Probably scalpers have gone up because it's commodity. Actually, no, but believe it or not, this game actually is still for purchase on Origin. It's just you can't buy it on Steam. It's not. I was under the assumption that you could only play it through a subscription. That's what PC gaming made it sound like. No, you actually can just buy it on Origin. It's just like people hate Origin so much they didn't realize it. This is actually entirely original. I'm amazed by this. Okay, this is actually more level than I give it credit for. Okay. Well, I'll show off something else then. Okay, Thankfully, I did remember the name of that one level. It wasn't... I kept putting Nijmagen, because that's what they say at the end of Mission 4. But it's actually Remagen. I think this one does use the same assets as the Destroyed Village level. In fact, it might even just be... I swear to God, those buildings are copied and pasted. Oh my god. Having the Mandela effect again. There's some of those ugly spotlights. There's the swastika you would not be able to see in the Origin or Steam version. Again, so lazy. They just had one version for all these retail platforms. Again, these beautiful multiplayer levels. No, the last point I want to make was Medal of Honor Pacific Assault Redux. Would I ever make it? Now, here's the thing. I've never actually played Pacific Assault. I remember installing it for the YouTube channel because it does have 3D sound, and it's way better than this game. It's actually really nice. I got to do a video of that eventually when I get to it. I don't know if I'm going to go back to Allied Assault because it's not that good of a game, but interesting enough, that does have a very bloody blood patch, and it does change the game, so I'm curious if it would make it better. No, but like Pacific Assault, I think the furthest I ever got was that stupid turret sequence on the boat when Pearl Harbor is happening. Michael Bay, based on Michael Bay's famous movie, of course. But like, I swear to God, like. I hated that part. I died, and I'm like, dude, fuck this. I just want to play the game, and it's like an hour long. It's like an hour long intro before the actual game starts. It's like one cold opening. So yeah, it is. There actually is a full SDK for that, so you could make new weapons. You could make new models. Not that I could. I would need a dedicated modding team. If I ever have my own Inglorious Bastards or Dirty Dozen of my own to make Pacific Assault. Not Pacific Assault. Somebody actually did say, could you make Pacific Assault Redux? But I'm thinking, like, that game is just too antiquated. Like, I don't know exactly what I could do to fix that game. That game would need, like, a full Unreal Engine 5, like, remake just to make good. Whereas this game had a very solid foundation. It just had very flawed implementation of, like, FOVs and inaccuracies and whatnot. But Pacific Assault, yeah, it's got problems. You gotta like hex edit the FO. You have to hex edit it to get the right FOV. You got to do like certain patches and shit. The GOG version, it's good, but you, like I said, you got to do the hex edit. Like, again, there's not much I could really add to that besides like the thing. It would be like making realistic weapon stats. It would make like the Browning have like the same recoil. But yeah, the Browning in that game has super fucking slow ADS. Like maybe the slowest ADS I've ever seen on any gun in any FPS game. Also, I gotta laugh because the reloads in that game I think actually are slower than what ended up putting in v2.0, especially for like the Springfield and the training mission. Funny enough, that game has way better writing than Airborne's. I don't know what happened. I guess the pod people just took over at some point. That old something awful review of Daikatana where he says the pod people took over John Romero. Look how fucking pretty this is, by the way. But Pacific is all. Will it ever happen? Probably not. Like I said, it might be retirement. Even with the overwhelmingly positive reviews this got, it would be a long time before I consider it. I'd have to learn the SDK. I wonder if it would be worth changing. The one good thing is you could change the sounds in that. I would love to just put like the Day of Infamy sounds or whatever like the biggest World War II shooter is right now. Just really realistic punchy sounds. But funny enough, I'm kind of like mind rotted like this. I would put unrealistic sounds too. I'd have a choice of realistic or unrealistic sounds. The unrealistic sounds would just all be like the cannons that sound like nukes and shit. Like I would have like the Indiana Jones pistol sound is like the Colt 45. I'd have like the Nazi sound from Indiana Jones is like the Nambu pistol. Yeah, no, that would be fun to make. I would just have like very booming machine gun sounds like the Thompson and the BAR, like that old PS2 game Black by Criterion Games. I just have like really fucking awesome sounds in addition to really realistic sounds. I don't know, maybe that'd be a lot of work. But yeah, Redux, would it ever happen? Probably not. But I'm not going to rule it out. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all the feedback over these last 5 years. Please continue to spread this mod. Please, please watch my 3D sound videos. Watch my CRT channel's videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe and buy my plushie and join my Discord and all that bullshit. I don't know. Take care.